This is Alex from phpacademy.org with another tutorial for the new Boston. Now in this tutorial we're going to be looking at multi-dimensional arrays. Now multi-dimensional arrays really put into use or into practice the use of arrays. Now as it stands, we've created this array at the moment. We have an associative array with different food types here, and we've assigned values of the amount of calories in each food. So we've given an example of how an associative array can be useful. Now we're going to move on to something slightly more complicated, which is multi-dimensional arrays. It sounds more complicated than it is, but in actual fact the basic concept of this is an array inside an array. And this can be multi-dimensional, so it can be a two-dimensional array, a three-dimensional array, and so on and so forth. And you need to really think about this as categories. Now in this example I'm going to be creating two categories. I'm going to be creating a category called healthy and unhealthy, and then inside these different categories I'm going to be adding different types of food. So I'm going to class pizza as pizza as unhealthy, and I'm going to be classing salad, vegetables and pasta as healthy food. So this is basically a multi-dimensional array because we're going to have an element, two elements, healthy and unhealthy, and then we're going to have more arrays, and pizza is going to be within an array in itself, and salad, vegetable and pasta is going to be in an array. In fact we'll add another unhealthy, I'll say ice cream. Okay, so this is what we want to achieve. So let's modify underneath here. We'll comment this out just so it's not going to be taken as code. Okay, so we've commented that out. This is essentially what we want. Okay, so this is the top array. So let's delete everything we've got inside. The first thing we're going to do is create two elements to our array. The first one is healthy, the second one is unhealthy. Okay, so now what we want to do is we're creating essentially an associative array, because I want to add a value to this and a value to this, like we did in the associative arrays tutorial. But now instead of assigning a value, you may think, oh yeah, I'm going to start to assign salad as healthy and then blah blah blah. It's going to get all mixed up. So what we do is we take it into another dimension and we say we're assigning the value. So we have created an array inside an array, so we're already talking into a second dimension. So if I add another array in here, let's just run this to prove that it's going to work. Okay, yes, so we're not receiving any errors at all. Now inside these arrays we can start to add our foods. So let's add salad, vegetables and pasta, and then in unhealthy let's add pizza and ice cream. Okay, so now we've essentially created a multi-dimensional array. What we can do is we can bring this down to make it sort of look a bit better. So pull this down to here. It's a bit tricky with this text editor that I'm using, but you get the general idea of how we can make it, you know, look a bit more easy to read, if you like. So let's get rid of this up here just so we look a bit neater. Okay, so let's run this to make sure everything's working. Yep, we've not received any errors. So now how are we going to access each element of this array? So what we've essentially done is we've created an associative array with the value of the associative healthy and unhealthy as an array. So we've created a multi-dimensional array. So how are we going to access these different elements? Well, we can echo out food. Again, remember we're using our square brackets, and then we address healthy. But then what we do is we need to access either element or either key 0, 1 or 2. So how do we do this? You know, we need to add something around here to be able to access that. All we do is we put another pair of square brackets next to it, and then we type the element. So as this stands, we're accessing the array food, the key of healthy here, and then inside that the first key, which is salad. So we're essentially here echoing out salad. Now you can already see how this is starting to pull together into a database type structure. So let's just refresh and see if that works. We're echoing salad. Now we can change this to say perhaps 2. That's going to echo out pasta. And let's refresh. Pasta. Okay, so we can obviously change this to unhealthy and access element 1, which would be ice cream. So you can see how we can do this and change it, and you can see now how it's got multiple dimensions to this array. So that is basically a multi-dimensional array in PHP, how we declare it, and also how we access each element.